Alright, how's everybody doing? I've gotten quite a few requests on how I make my YouTube videos and the cameras I use and stuff like that. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how I make the videos, what programs I use, and how I started. Real quick, I'll tell you the story of SuperTruckerDan. SuperTruckerDan, when YouTube first came out, years ago when YouTube first came out, you needed a username to get on YouTube. And I picked up SuperTruckerDan. My mom used to call me Trucker Dan. So I created the username SuperTruckerDan, and it was not to make videos, it was to watch YouTube. And then when I decided to make YouTube videos, I had actually created another channel in my name, and I started doing some research about YouTube. And the longer a YouTube channel had been around, whether or not you had videos on it or not, the longer the channel had been around, the better it was for search results. Think of Google. When you Google something and you Google search something in your search results, it's the same way when you do videos. That's why if you look at my title's really long. It's because it has a lot of keywords in the title. I usually put a little bit about what the video is about, and then I'll put owner operator, flatbed truck driver, vlog. So all those words are kind of keywords in the whole to help with search results. I also use a program called TubeBuddy, T-U-B-B-U-D-D-Y. And it is like an extra program for YouTube. I use that program. That program is really good about helping you do tags for videos and how to tag videos. You're allowed 500 characters to tag a video. It's not 500 words, it's 500 characters. One day all I did is I sat down and I wrote down every word that I could think of that was associated with driving a truck, diesel fuel, everything else. And I included the one word lorry, which is the European word for truck. Just like we call tractor trailers in Europe, they're called lorries. And I included that in my tags, and I started to get a lot of people from Europe watching my YouTube videos because of that one word in lorry that I used in tags. So that's a little bit of help to start your channel. I do recommend TubeBuddy. So that's a little bit of the program. Editing. I use a program. I went through several different editing programs until I found one. I needed an editing program that was simple and quick to use. I didn't need an editing program that had a lot of bells and whistles. Some of the programs that I started using were very sophisticated programs. They did a lot more than what I needed. I finally found a program. It's called MOV-AVI, which is the abbreviations for video files. MOV-AVI. I'll have links to all that stuff in the description. When I edit a video, the biggest thing is data, using data. Especially being out on the road and uploading videos mobile was a big issue. I used to use a hotspot, and man, I would burn up a lot of data. I finally come up with a system. MOV-AVI, the program, they also have a mobile application for your phone. So what I do, and I'll talk a little bit more of how I edit the video, but what I do is once I edit the video and I make the video, I save it to a file in the editing software that's on the computer. I then download the movie to my cell phone, and I have a MOV-AVI program. They have a mobile application for the phone. I then take that file and I run it through the mobile application for the video editing on the phone. If I don't run it through the mobile, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to upload a movie over the phone. But I run it through that program, and I don't know what it does to it. It's a lot more technical than what I know, but somehow it redoes the film file. Anyway, usually when I run it through the mobile application, so I finish the video on the laptop, I download the video to my phone, which is a Samsung S8. I save the file to my phone. I run that file from my phone through the mobile app, and then I end up with the file that I upload to YouTube. And usually at that point, it'll upload about 30-40 minutes. I record all my videos in 720, which is the lowest high definition. The TubeBuddy program will give you analytics of what people are watching your program. It'll also tell you what they're watching it on. Over half of my audience watches my YouTube videos on a mobile device, a cell phone or a tablet. So having 4K for a cell phone for half the audience, to me it requires a lot of data. You guys remember that 360 camera? That 360, I've talked about that requires a lot of data to upload. The file for that is huge. So I just do everything at 720. There's a couple people that complain about it every now and then, but for the most part, everybody's happy with it. It just makes the file size a lot smaller to upload. Okay, that's kind of a quick rundown of the software and the YouTube that I use. I will do a quick talk about the process of editing and the cameras I use. So when you see my videos and the dash cam, or the cam looking out the front of the truck where you see the hood, that is this little camera right here. And this is a Polaroid Cube Plus. So this is my little dash cam. I use a, let's see, what size card do I have in here? I use a 128 what is it, bit card or whatever. Anyway, 128, it will 128 gigs, that's what it is. It will hold 2 days worth of driving on here. Now, the one thing about the Polaroid Cube compared to, and I'll talk about this, the GoPro, using the GoPro as a dash, the Polaroid Cube records files every 5 minutes. So when I have this on during the day, looking out the dash, every 5 minutes it creates a new movie file. So at the end of the day, I download, and it's usually somewhere around 140 files, something like that. I download all the files. When you see the driving scenes with the music and it shows, you know, 3 or 4 seconds, that's in order. What I do is I download all the 4 or 5 seconds, or the 5 minute files, and then I take the first 4 or 5 seconds of every 5 minute file, if you follow me. So when you see the video, it's in order driving down the road, and it's just luck of what you see. Every now and then I will go through and try to pick something out that I saw during the day. The biggest thing is time. It takes a lot. It takes you about 2 to 3 hours to edit one video with a driving scene, with a loading or unloading, something like that, with the music. So to go back and try to pick out certain things throughout the day takes a long time to go through all those files. And I just leave the camera on all day because I don't know what's going to happen. Just for example, the last video coming through the scale. Now, real quick, while we're talking about the Polaroid Cube, let me dig this one off. So when you see me loading and unloading, this is the other Polaroid Cube I use. And then it's a magnet mount. Now, magnet mount, all this is a magnet mount from the truck stop for an oversized sign. It's a 1/4-inch screw, and it fits right on there. Now, I bought this little, and I'll have a link, I bought this little plastic case that holds the Polaroid Cube on there. And this is what I mount up to show loading and unloading and stuff like that. So I have 2 of these. So this is the little dash, and then this is the one I use for the loading and unloading. So, okay. All right, so we got that one. Let's see, what else do I use? Let's talk about this camera, and then I'll talk about the camera I'm talking on right now. One of the biggest things making videos, it is loud in here, and this does have a mic, but it's not a very good mic. It picks up a lot of the background noise. It's far away from me. It picks up a lot of the hood noise. I get a lot of people talking about my squeaky hood. So that little mic on that little cube picks up a lot. The camera I'm talking on is a Canon, and that's the best camera that I could find for audio in the truck. Now, the video quality is not the best. Sometimes it's kind of not a very good picture, but the audio quality, and when you're making the video, you got to have a good picture and you got to have good audio. Otherwise people aren't going to watch it. If they can't hear you, or it's a lot of background noise, it's you know, people kind of tune out rather quickly, that I've found. Go back to my video, making the videos. Over time, if you ever notice my thumbnails, I always try to show my thumbnail. I found more people click on a thumbnail that has a picture of me and the truck or the load in the background. So whenever you look through my thumbnails, the majority of my thumbnails is me and the truck. I found that people, that's what I used to do, titles on the thumbnails. That didn't work out. People didn't seem to click on it as much. Just like when you're scrolling through YouTube, you're not really reading, you're looking at the little thumbnails for the videos. So if you can kind of put I'll use the word clickbait, put something up there, somebody goes, oh, let me see what that's about. So that helps with the thumbnails. Okay, so the camera, the audio is another big thing. This is my GoPro 5, Hero 5, or my GoPro 5, I think it's what it's called. Anyway, this is the camera that I use when I go out and talk outside. Once again, audio and video is a big thing. The little camera I'm talking on, I used to make outside videos, but this little camera that I'm talking on picks up a lot of wind noise, and you get a lot of wind noise. So it took me a while to find a setup that worked. And what I have is a GoPro 5 mounted in an aluminum case that has a shoe mount on the top. And in order for a GoPro 5 to use a microphone, you have to buy this little adapter. This is a GoPro adapter, and the little microphone plugs into the top up there. So when I'm talking to myself, the mic is facing me like this, and then when I turn the phone around or the camera around to show the shot, I turn the mic around. The only thing I have to be careful of is if you get too far away from this mic, the audio quality is not as good. So I try not to get too far away. So if I was to set this camera up in the truck and talk to it, it's not as clear for some reason as this little camera that I'm talking on. And it just took a lot of trial and error to find out what worked. But this is a GoPro 5 with a mic adapter and a little mic and a little windsock on there. I'll put a link to all this in the description, so if you guys want to go look. I bought all this stuff off of Amazon. This little stand I bought this off of Amazon that I use right here. The little light, so I got a little light. Remember I said there's a shoe mount, so I can take the little light and mount the light on top of that. That way, if at nighttime or when I had the side kit on, to talk in there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this camera off. I'm going to turn this camera on, and I can talk about the Canon camera that I'm talking on, and show you guys the difference between the two. So hang on one second. Okay, now I'm talking on the GoPro. So I got the GoPro mounted where this little camera, I usually mount this little camera. I got the mic on. So anyway, you can get an idea. You'll hear the audio difference. So this, for some reason, to me, this little camera sounds better. This is not a fancy camera. I think I paid $170 for it. But this little camera, it's a Canon PowerShot 190. I'll put the link in there. I think they still make it. But this is the main camera that I use. When you see the videos of me driving with the other picture-in-picture, this, you're hearing the audio track off of this phone, excuse me, off of this camera with the picture-in-picture. So you know, that's how. Now, oh, another thing, you guys, a lot of people go, you say or what's the word, all right, that's it, all right. What I found when I was editing if I say all right, what it does is it spikes the audio file, and that's how I can line the two cameras up, or the files for the two cameras, because I'm using the little dash camera and I'm using this camera when you get the picture in picture. So the mic's on both of them. So when I say all right, it spikes the audio file, and I can line the audio files up, and that's how I get the picture in picture to where they line up with what I'm driving and when I'm talking. So and then it just turned into kind of a joke. People use it as a drinking game, all kinds of stuff. But so anyway, that's the GoPro. Now let me switch back over to this camera here, and we'll talk a little bit more. Hang on one second. Okay, we're back on the Canon camera. Let's see, we'll finish up. I wanted to talk about, I get a lot of questions about the music that I use. I use a music service called ELPH Mic Sound, I think it is, but I'll put a link in there. It has thousands of songs. It costs me about $10 a month. I can't, if to do YouTube videos and to monetize them, I can't use royalty music like top 40 music, because I don't own the rights to it, and I haven't paid for the rights to use the music. So if you do use a top 40 music, or something like that in your video, when you monetize the video, it goes to who owns the song. So I pay for this the music service, and a lot of people say, well, who's the artist? A lot of it is I just grab it. That music service, like I said, they have thousands of songs. You can search it through moods, tempo. I found that driving scenes going down the road at about 125 tempo. And the music I pick it depending on what kind of mood I'm in. So I have fun with the music sometimes. I enjoy doing the music. I'll spend more time trying to find the right song for the video than it does editing the video sometimes. Let's see, the music service. What else did I want to talk about? Let's see, I think that's it. But if anybody has any questions or ideas about videos, when I started my channel, I was trying to do something a little different than everybody else. That's when I started doing the picture-in-picture, and the editing software that I finally found and using made that extremely simple. I would say for anybody that's starting is audio quality. I would put audio quality above video quality. If people can't hear or understand you in your videos, they're not going to watch. Video quality, they can probably overlook a little bit of video quality, but I do find that audio quality seems to be the main thing. Let's see what else. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna edit it together, put it all together. I'll have descriptions to everything in there. And if you have any ideas about videos you want, somebody wants to see all the tools that I have, somebody wants to see equipment videos, so I'll do stuff like that. I'm not really a how-to kind of guy. Never really meant to be a how-to kind of guy. I wanted it to be more of, this is my life, this is what I'm doing. But I'll do some how-to every now and then. But anyway, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, just leave them. And I do read every comment. I try to reply to them. And when I say thanks for watching, it's just an acknowledgement that thanks for watching. I read your comment, and I appreciate you taking the time to write the comment. Sometimes I can't answer all of them, especially if I put a video out like late at night. And in the morning I'm working. I just don't have time to sit there and answer them all. But I do read all the comments, and I do appreciate all the comments. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.